Dr. Wale Akinyemi. Welcome again to the Morning Fix.
Thank you so much.
It's great having you in studio this morning, and I love how we started off the conversation. You gave us a story of who you are, a story of this country, Ghana, and how it learned from the stories of Nigeria, the stories of America. And right now, I just want us to dive into another section of understanding storytelling or being effective with it. And that is how to change a narrative. You know, there are very many people who they start off their morning, they sit on the side of the bed, they look at the closet for about 5 minutes to tell themselves, I can't believe I'm awake, and snap back into reality to start off the day. They do the same things every day. At the end of the month, they probably get the same paycheck. And they're saying that is their life, that is their story. Even if they wanted to change it, they don't think they can. There's organizations and companies that try so hard to be pillars of society, but they don't know how to tell their story from what they have seen it being told as. And they ask themselves sometimes in boardrooms, what can we do to change the narrative? From individuals to companies to countries, they grapple with the same questions. Dr. Wale Akinyemi, can you help us this morning?
All right, cool. First things first, we have to define the brand. I had to define, okay, if you don't want to be branded as a motivational speaker, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, it was just not going to work for me. So we define the brand. Because if you don't know who you are, you will answer to who you are called.
Oof.
You know? And it goes even further than that. If you don't know where you're going, you will have to get down where you are dropped.
Oh, wow.
If you don't know the truth about yourself, every lie or speculation becomes a possibility. So we need to define it. How do we want to be positioned? I wanted to be positioned as somebody who was transformative, who could transform leadership, transform organizations. And so leadership was the core. And that's the thing. We need to find what is the core of my story. You know, so defining the brand. Now, we need to be careful because the fact that you desire something does not mean you are wired for it.
Oh, I love that.
All right. And the mistake a lot of people are making is they desire, I want to be. So in my case, maybe I'm saying I want to be known for transforming companies, transforming leadership or whatever. That is the brand. That's what I want to be known for. Now, so that, and how do you know? You know, they're very simple things, and I'm going to put you to a test right now.
Sure.
When you hear the word environment, who comes to your mind?
Wow. I actually saw a what and not a who in that one.
No, we'll get to that. Okay, when you hear software, which individual?
At this moment, I would say the likes of Tim Cook with Apple and Elon Musk.
Fantastic. Now, when you hear the word Apple, who do you think of?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Yes.
When I was young, when you heard the word Apple, you thought of Adam and Eve.
That's true. That's true.
Now, and we can go on. When you hear the word terrorist, immediately people say Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda.
Yeah.
You know? And so the question is, which word will people hear that will lead them back to you?
Wow.
That's who your brand is.
Wow.
So that word, and so you have to work on it. So the fact that you desire it does not mean you have it. So the next thing is every dream has a capacity requirement. So what is the capacity I need to build? How do I position myself as a guy that can solve leadership problems? All right?
Yeah.
So you do that, and I found out the way I need to do that. And it leads to the next thing. After you've defined the brand, you project the brand.
Wow.
Let me tell you how it it started with me.
Uh-huh.
So after my business had failed in Nigeria, then I came to Kenya, and that's why I'm passionate about Kenya, because it's the land of recovery.
Wow.
It's the land where dead dreams come to life. I'm telling a Kenyan story right there.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The land where dreams come to life. And you have so many champions who wanted to be champions. It started as a dream.
Yeah.
Boom. We have so many amazing stories in this country that we can package. I live in the coast. 80% of my neighbors are expatriates who came to settle, who came to retire here. It's the land that gives you peace. It's the land that gives you value for money. We're telling a story.
Yes, we are.
So how did I start? So I'm living in Kilifi, and I at that time I was so poor that the poor called me poor. I was so poor I could not pay attention. So, but I had something. I had to define the brand.
Yeah.
I was over technically, but yeah. So I would go to Kilifi Books. That was where there was a cyber cafe back in the day. 60 shillings I'll pay. And you know what I began to do?
What did you do?
I began to, all the thoughts on leadership that were in my head, I began to write them as articles and just send them out as emails.
Wow.
We didn't have social media then, just emails.
Yes.
Now, one of those emails landed in the mailbox of one of my mentees that I've mentored for many years, Dolphina. And Dolly said, she was then a student at the HR college. And she said, my principal needs to read this. The principal was Mr. Samson Osero. So she forwarded to him. He loved the articles. Not long after, he became the executive director of the Institute for Human Resource Management, IHRM. He was going to have his first conference. And he wants the guy who has been writing articles, who has been projecting his brand, to come and speak. I speak in front of 250 HR managers. The rest is history.
Wow.
I would not be here today without the input of Mr. Osero.
Wow.
Now, so that is going on, and I keep sending out the emails. Then one day, remember, we've defined the brand. Now we're projecting the brand.
Yes.
And I'm always writing leadership, transformation, blah, blah. So one day, some people reach out to me from this organization, from Nation. And this guy says, would you like to write for the papers? I thought it was a prank. Me? Who am I? Me? Write for a paper?
Yeah.
And he said, send 2 articles. I sent 2 articles. They actually did publish them. They said, oh, wow, people love your articles. And they gave me a column. You see, it started with a 60 shillings a week investment in projecting the brand.
Wow.
They gave me a column. So I began to write. Then guess what?
What?
One day, I get a message from some guys who say, I need to come to the Kenya School of Government for a meeting, to meet with someone. I did not even know there was a Kenya School of Government. So I go there, I am shaking. I'm thinking, oh my God, have I written something bad, or what is this about?
Yeah.
I get there and I'm introduced to Professor Margaret Kobia, who at that time was the Director General. And she told me she's been reading my articles. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And that what I am writing, leadership, the brand,
Yes.
leadership needs it.
Wow.
In this country. So at the Kenya School of Government, there was the Strategic Leadership Development Program, SLDP. And that's how Professor Kobia got me to begin to teach there.
Wow.
So the rest is history. So define the brand, whether it's national brand, whether it's a corporate brand or a personal brand, then project the brand. But then, as you are projecting the brand, you must feed the brand.
Okay.
What do I mean by feed the brand? Ensure consistency. You see, the beauty of a great brand is that if I buy crispy fried chicken in Karen, I go to Mombasa and I order for crispy fried chicken, it will taste the same. I go to Lusaka, it will taste the same. We must have a consistency of the brand. And that's why, because my brand is leadership and transformation, I have to keep reading. I have to keep up with what's going on. I have to keep training myself, going for workshops and things like that, so that I can stay consistent. So I read a book a week, besides articles and things like that. So let me reiterate that. You define your brand. When you define your brand, make sure you are not defining something you don't have capacity for, or that you can't develop capacity for. Then you project your brand, and then you feed your brand.
Wow.
Whether it's, and I've used this, whether at a corporate level, whether at departmental level, whether at an organizational level, whether at a national level or a county level, that simple process, it works.
You know, everything that you actually, beg your pardon, communicating right here is, it needs so much extrapolation, because it has so much depth.